Hi there everyone, and welcome to today's free training. I am so excited that you are all here. Welcome in. Come on, let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from. If you are watching the replay, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below as well. Let me know where you're joining us today for this free training. Today we are talking about all of the different features and functions of Instagram and when to use each one. If you've ever been like some of my clients before where you've wondered, should I post that in Reels? Should that be in my feed? Should I be doing that on stories? What the heck is an Instagram Live? Then this conversation is perfect for you. We're going to be talking about Instagram's 6 key features and when to use each one for your online business. So I can't wait to dive in. If I haven't had the chance to meet you yet, hello, my name is Tyler J. McCall, and I help people start and grow profitable online businesses. And since 2015, I've been a go-to Instagram marketing expert for online business owners and digital entrepreneurs. So I'm so glad that you are all here with me today. Thanks so much for joining in for this conversation. So, we're going to get started in just a minute, but I want to let you know a few things about how we do our weekly live trainings around here if this is your first time. I see some familiar faces, but if this is your first time here, I want to let you know what we do. So for the next 45 minutes or so, I'm going to be teaching and sharing with you about Instagram marketing strategy. But this is not a one-way street, okay? I'm not just showing up here and talking at you. This is a conversation. So I want to hear from you in the comments throughout today's training. So as I'm sharing, as I'm asking questions, as I'm teaching you, let me know in the comments what your takeaways are, what questions you have, what aha moments that you're having, because it is a heck of a lot more fun if you are hanging out in the comments than if it's just me sitting here talking to myself, okay? That also means that I want to see those reactions. I want to see the likes and the thumbs up. I want to see the hearts. So show this video some love. And as you're doing that, I'm going to be doing giveaways throughout today's free training. We do this every single week. So we'll be doing giveaways for folks. If I see your name popping up in the comments, if you're engaging with me, I'm going to send some love your way. We give away Target, Starbucks, and Amazon gift cards. And the way that you win is by engaging in the comments. If I say your name and say, hey, you won a gift card, then all you're going to do is send me a direct message right here on this Facebook page, the Tyler J. McCall Facebook page. Send us a DM with your email address and a member of my team will get that free gift card right over to you as quickly as possible. So with that in mind, let's get started with a giveaway. We're going to give away a $5 Amazon gift card. And I want to invite you to comment below and tag a friend or mention your biz bestie to come watch this video right now on Facebook. Just say, hey, at your name, I think you'll like this video. Or hey, at your name, come check out this free training. Go ahead and tag some of your friends, your biz besties, clients, people that would benefit from today's conversation so that they can know that we're live right now and we're going to do an Amazon.com gift card giveaway in just a moment. So today, during this free training, we're going to be talking about the 6 key features of Instagram, including what they are and when to use each one and how they work. We'll also be talking about when to use these features and how to prioritize your time on Instagram so you're not just spending all this time on Instagram without thinking of why you're doing it and if it's contributing to your business. I'm also going to share my secret to success on Instagram that won't have you creating content nonstop and posting everywhere all the time. And I'm going to share with you where to post to attract new followers and where to post to connect with the followers you already have. Really, my goal today is to take a lot of this guesswork and confusion out of Instagram marketing and break it down and make it super simple for you. So amazing. Thank you all so much for hanging out in the comments and tagging and inviting your friends. So grateful that you did that. And we're going to go ahead and do our first giveaway. And I would like to send Alex Phillips, we'd love to send you a $5 Amazon gift card. So Alex Phillips, if you'll just send a direct message to this Facebook page with your email address, and someone from our team will get you that $5 Amazon gift card. How simple is that, okay? You just gotta hang out and chat with me in the comments. So that's what we're talking about today. Now, before we dive in and get into the meat of today's conversation, I want to invite you to something really special that we have going on next week called the Insta Income Workshop. Now, this is a brand new live workshop that we've put together that I'm teaching next Wednesday afternoon to walk you through how to plan and execute your first or next profitable Instagram promo. If you've been listening to me for the past few weeks or to the podcast, or you've joined me here on Facebook Live, you know how important it is to have a clear sales process in your business. To actually have a process that you follow to invite your followers to buy your stuff. Because if you're never inviting your followers to buy what you sell, it's going to be really hard to make sales and to grow your online business. So next week during the Insta Income Workshop, I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that using a proven system that I've developed and has now been tested by over 1,300 entrepreneurs that we call the Insta Income Blueprint. The best part about the Insta Income Blueprint process that you will learn during next week's workshop is that you can do it in just 7 days. That's right. So you're just 7 days away from your first or next profitable Instagram promo. And during next week's workshop, it's going to be a 3-hour live training where I'm going to walk you through getting everything you need ready for your Insta Income promo. We're going to talk about the content you need to create in your feed, on stories, and on live video. We're going to talk about the offer that you're going to be selling. I'm either going to help you pick the best offer to sell, or I'll help you create one if you don't have one available right now. And I'm going to give you the Insta Income Blueprint, which is a 40-plus page PDF guide that walks you through everything you need to implement this income launch. Inside the blueprint, you're going to find posting prompts, you're going to find caption prompts, you're going to find scripts and outlines for your Instagram stories and Instagram Live, everything you need to pick, position, and promote an offer on Instagram so you can start making more sales from your account in just 7 days. It's all happening next week during the Insta Income Workshop. The workshop is next Wednesday afternoon. This is a live 3-hour training event. I'm going to be live on camera with you this entire time, walking you through the process, helping you get ready to implement this in your business. We'll also have some small group breakout sessions for you to work with other people that are in attendance at the workshop. And then from there, you'll leave with your full plan for the blueprint launch and your Insta Income Blueprint and ready to go for your 7-day promo on Instagram. So just 3 hours and 7 days, and then you are where you need to be for generating more sales on Instagram and having that first or next profitable launch. So I want to invite you to get your ticket now to the workshop by going to tylerjmccall.com/workshop. This is happening next Wednesday afternoon. It's a live event, but we will have a recording available if you grab your ticket. Your ticket includes access to the 3-hour live training. It also includes a live Q&A with me where I'm going to answer all your questions about your launch on Instagram. You're going to get a recording of the event, and we're going to give you that Insta Income Blueprint that's going to help you with your first or next profitable Instagram launch. Now, you can go to tylerjmccall.com/workshop right now to grab your ticket. I do want to let you know, if you are a current member of the Follower to Fan Society, the Online Business Association, or you have purchased the Insta Income Blueprint in the past, we do have a special offer for you to get you a discounted ticket. So check your inbox if you're a member of Follower to Fan Society or the Online Business Association, or you've purchased the blueprint in the past, or you can reach us by emailing hello@tylerjmccall.com, and a member of our team will get you a special coupon code that we have available just for you. But whether or not you're one of those folks, head on over to tylerjmccall.com/workshop right now and grab your ticket for next week's live event. It's going to be a good one. So the reason I wanted to talk about this conversation today of the 6 platforms within Instagram is because I feel like a lot of times we get really, really overwhelmed with all the things that we can do on Instagram. Let me know in the comments if you feel me on that, if it feels kind of overwhelming from time to time, because there's so many features and functions of the Instagram platform. We can post here, create there, connect there, and it can feel a little bit daunting because where do we spend our time? What should we prioritize? Where should be the place that we spend our most energy? If you've ever felt like that, let me know in the comments, because I know for sure, even as an Instagram educator, I felt like that before as well. One of the cool benefits of Instagram, I love it. Everyone's saying, yes, yes, yes. I feel you on that. Rose, Ursula, Joy, yes. Christine, yes, totally. So I'm glad you're right there with me. I'm glad I'm not alone in feeling that way. One of the cool things about Instagram is that it does have all of these platforms in one place. And I like to think of each feature of Instagram as its own separate platform, right? And each platform has its own thing, its own kind of content I can create, its own way for me to connect with my followers. And that's what makes Instagram so freaking exciting. It's also what makes it so easy to use for a lot of online business owners, because we can do pretty much all the things we need to do to market right on Instagram. So that's a really exciting feature of the Instagram platform. But a common misconception that people have is because Instagram has all these features that they have to use all these features. But I promise you right now, that is not true. You do not have to use every single feature and function of Instagram to see results for your online business. Oh my gosh, can I get an amen or a hallelujah in the chat? I know that that feels very freeing for a lot of us to realize that we don't have to use all the features of the platform if we don't want to, that we can use specific features to get the results that we want. And that's what we're going to talk about today, how to figure out which features make the most sense for you and your business and your content creation style. And I'm going to share really the only 2 places that you need to worry about showing up consistently to get results from Instagram. I like to think about it this way. To use Instagram for your online business, you don't have to use every color in the crayon box. You just have to use the right color for the picture that you're trying to draw. So instead of using every feature and function of Instagram, you just have to use the right ones for the results that you are working toward getting for your Instagram account. So during today's training, I'm going to introduce the 6 key features of Instagram and talk about each one and discuss when to use that particular platform. And then we're going to discuss the 2 Instagram features that most entrepreneurs need to use to get the results that they want from Instagram, and kind of give you some freedom and peace from worrying about everything else for today. Okay? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to do another quick little giveaway, and I want to ask you, can anyone guess the 6 features of Instagram that we are discussing today? So remember, I said I like to think of all of these features of Instagram as 6 separate platforms. So Facebook is an example of a platform, YouTube, Twitter, Clubhouse. So think about it in Instagram. There's 6 different types of platforms within Instagram that we can use for our business. And the first person to get all 6 right, or get as close as you can, we're gonna send over a Target gift card your way. So go ahead and let me know in the comments what you think the 6 platforms of Instagram are. Once we've gotten introduced to them, I'm gonna talk about each one, how to use it, or when to use it, and then a little bit, just kind of some strategy around each platform. Okay, so let's see. We got some answers here. It looks like we have, looks like we're getting about 5 right. Catherine has Reels, Stories, Post, and IGTV. Joy has Feed, Stories, IGTV Live, and Reels. You're almost there. Janine is the winner. Congratulations, Janine. Or is it Jean Ann? Maybe it's Jean Ann. Or is it Janine? Let me know in the comments. But you're the winner. Instagram Feed, Instagram Stories, Live, IGTV, Reels, and direct messages. Those are the 6 platforms that we're going to talk about today. Yeah, that DMs is kind of the last one that people tend to forget about, but I like to think of direct messages as its own unique platform. So, Janine or Jean Ann, I'm sorry if I'm saying it incorrectly, send us a direct message right here with your email address. We'll send a Target gift card over your way. If you're not in the US, we'll send you an Amazon or Starbucks gift card instead. Jean Ann, okay, good. Yeah, send us a direct message and we'll get you that gift card. So those are the 6 core platforms on Instagram. Your Instagram feed, which is where you're posting most of the time. That's how Instagram started. It was just the feed. Instagram Stories, which came next. Then I think direct messages actually came next. Then Instagram Stories. Then Instagram Live, where you can do live videos. IGTV, which has been around for a few years. Instagram Reels, which was just introduced last fall. And then direct messages, which is one of the things I love the most and something we're definitely going to talk about today. Let me get a sip of water. So all of these platforms together create a really incredible platform that is Instagram. It makes it really easy for us to do all the things we would do on other platforms right in one place. That's one of the reasons I love Instagram so much and why I think it makes so much sense for small business owners and entrepreneurs just like you to use Instagram for your business. Instead of trying to be on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and YouTube and having a podcast and doing all the things, you can do a lot of it right on Instagram. And that's why we love it so much. But figuring out how to use it specifically to get the results that you want, so you're not also burning yourself out and spending all this time creating content for no real outcome, is super, super important. I want to hear from you right now in the comments. Which of these 6 features of Instagram do you feel like you really understand? Where do you feel the most confident right now? In your feed, on stories, doing live, doing IGTV, doing reels, or in your direct message conversations? Let me know where you feel the most confident. After we talk through each one and when to use it, I'm going to share really only the 2 features that you need to probably worry about most of the time. For most entrepreneurs and business owners, there's really 2 places that make the most impact for you. You can do the other things if you want, but these are the 2 places that are really important. So I'm seeing lots of feed and stories. I see some reels in there from, Lynn said reels. I love that, Lynn. That's so exciting. Direct messages from Terry. Okay, awesome. So it seems like for a lot of you, stories and feed seem to be the places where you're showing up. Awesome. Good deal. Okay, so let's dive in and talk about these 6 different features and when to use them. So the first is Instagram feed. As I said, Instagram feed was the first thing. That's how this whole thing started, is the feed. And the feed is where you can post static images, graphics, and 60-second videos. You can also share your reels and IGTV over to your feed as well. And it'll just show up to 60 seconds of an IGTV video. And then people can tap on that to get to the video on IGTV, or they can tap on a reel to get to the reel in your Reels feed. But Instagram feed, the feed is where it all started. So that's where you're doing those images, graphics, and videos. You want to use the feed when you're creating content that you want to last. So if you are creating content that you want to be around for a long time, the feed is the perfect place to do it. Think of feed content as kind of the cornerstone foundational content of your Instagram marketing strategy. In the feed is where you're going to do posts that introduce yourself and your brand. That's where you're going to tell stories about your brand. That's where you're going to teach and share content that is filled with value. That's also where you're going to create content that maybe addresses objections or mindset issues that your followers may have to get them to the right place of purchasing your product, program, or service. The feed is really that foundational content, and it's content that you want to last for a long time. Now, you can also archive your content in the feed. It's super easy to do. When you archive a post, that just takes it off your feed and puts it into your secret little archive so you can go check it out later. But the feed is where you post content that you want to last. The second place for Instagram strategy or for content is through your Instagram stories. Now, we all know and love Instagram stories. This is where you can record videos of up to 15 seconds in length and post this to your Instagram stories. Your stories can also include boomerangs, it can include graphics, it can include videos that you upload from your device. But Instagram stories is really about creating content that is only around for a day. So this content that has a 24-hour shelf life, that's what we want to think about with Instagram stories. Now, we can add our stories to story highlights, and you can totally do that, but that was not their initial intention, and that's not how I want you to think about using them. I don't want you to think about using stories for the sole purpose of putting it on your story highlights. I want you to think about stories of being that thing that you can do on a daily basis to connect with the followers you already have. That's why I love stories so much. A little bit of maybe a little foreshadowing to what we're going to talk about in just a little bit, but I love Instagram stories. Instagram stories are so important for strategy because they are the gateway to direct messages. And what I mean by that is every time you post a story, there'll be a little send a DM option across the bottom of the screen where someone can send you a message right from your Instagram story. Everyone know where that is, or have you used that before? The reason that's so important for you as an entrepreneur using Instagram is because your stories are a gateway for people to send you direct messages, to open up for conversations, and to sell your products, programs, and services right in your DMs. That's why we love stories so much. Actually, what we're going to talk about during the Insta Income Workshop next week, we're really teaching how to sell using stories. Like in the workshop that we're going to talk about next week, we're not worried about using any fancy sales pages or technology or software to sell. You can do it right in your Instagram stories using direct messages. So I'm excited to share that with you next week. So that's what stories are all about. Now, this is where I get the question around, how often should I be doing it? How often should I post in my feed? How often should I post on my stories? It depends a little bit on the goal you have for growing your following. Now, we've talked about this before during the live streams, and you can go to this Facebook page right now where you're watching this video right here on Facebook, and tap on videos and look for the weekly marketing series playlist. You'll see this whole series of trainings we've been doing all the way back until February with new trainings every single week. And we've talked about this before, about how often to post for your following goals. I also have an episode of my podcast, The Online Business Show, that's coming up next week. Next Monday, this episode is all about Instagram follower growth secrets that no one wants you to know. You can go to onlinebusinessshow.co to check that episode out. It drops next Monday morning. I'll be talking more about that then. But pretty much what you need to know now is that how often you post really depends on your follower growth goal. So for most people who are just using Instagram to grow their business, to connect with potential customers or clients, you can post in your feed about 3 to 5 times per week. 3 to 5 times per week seems to be a pretty sweet spot for a lot of folks. Posting Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, posting Monday through Friday. It really depends on what works best for you and your content creation system, how you enjoy creating content, what type of content you want to create, and how often you want to post. But 3 to 5 times a week in the feed tends to be a pretty good sweet spot. Now, in next week's episode of the Online Business Show, to give you a little bit of a teaser of things to come, when I am talking next week about follower growth, we're actually going to talk about how Instagram is really helping accounts grow that post more often. So you don't have to do this, okay? I don't want you to come away from this video and saying, Tyler said I had to post 27 times a week. That is not what I'm saying here. But if you really want to prioritize follower growth right now, then you could post in your feed 2 or 3 times a day. You don't have to, but if you wanted to, you totally could. We're seeing the algorithm has kind of swung back in a direction where posting more often in a day actually isn't really a hindrance anymore like it was a couple of years ago. This is also why it's really important that you are learning Instagram strategy from folks that are actively using Instagram, that aren't teaching you outdated strategies that worked 5 years ago that don't work anymore, people that are still working on the platform and figuring out how to best use it, okay? So just a side note about that. But in the feed, 3 to 5 times a week tends to be the best for a lot of entrepreneurs. Also, let's be honest, creating content can be a little bit of a chore sometimes. We talked about this a lot during last week's live training. So definitely check out last week's live video. We talked about content creation. So for a lot of folks, 3 to 5 times a week, that's going to give you about 12 to 20 posts per month. That feels about like the max that some folks can handle. Even for me, like 5 times a week is kind of like, that's about as much as I can do. Okay, sometimes we try and double up in a day, but Lord y'all, it's a lot of work. So that's how often to post in the feed. Now, how often do you post on stories? My rule is as often as humanly possible. And I'll tell you why in a little bit. I'll tell you why stories are so important toward the end of today's live training. But if you can post in stories every day, totally do it. As far as how much content to put in your stories, we tend to see that 12 to 15 pieces of content per 24 hours works best. So 12 to 15 videos or graphics or photos in your or shared posts to your Instagram stories tends to work best. Anything more than that, it gets to be a little bit too much content. A rule that we have is don't let your dashes turn into dots. So you've probably experienced this before. You've gone to someone's Instagram story, and at the very top of their story, you see all these teeny tiny little dots, right? And showing how many pieces of content are available in their story. The moment your dashes, when they go from being this long, turn into dots when they're this long, it's probably too much content in your stories. People aren't going to watch all of that. They're going to get bored. They're going to swipe away and move on to the next story. So 12 to 15 pieces of content per 24 hours in stories tends to work best. So that's the feed, and that's Instagram stories. I wanted to hop into the comments really quickly and see if there are any questions about this. So I answered that question about how many stories in a day. Joy Green asked, does posting a reel in your feed post count as a feed post? Great question, Joy. I love doing that. If you're going to create, here's the thing, if you're going to create a reel, get the most use out of that reel. So create the reel, it's going to live in your reel feed, then share that to your store, into your main Instagram feed. It's going to be content in your Instagram feed. Then share that to your stories. It's going to be content on your stories. So Joy Green, yes, share reels anywhere you can on Instagram. The same thing with IGTV. If you have an IGTV video, share the preview to your feed and then share that to your Instagram stories as well. You want to make the most out of this content for sure. Lynn says, more posts is equal to more followers for me. I love hearing that. And Michelle says, I noticed a huge increase when I did that the other day. 3 posts in one day, for sure. Yeah. So we're definitely seeing that happen in the Instagram feed these days. Danielle has a great idea too. Wow, so should I break up my carousels? Danielle, that's a great question. So carousel posts in the feed perform really well. And carousel posts are really great examples of savable and shareable content. So they can really help you perform well in the algorithm. You could break them up and share them in different places or different ways if you wanted to. You could also try it as a carousel post one week, and then the next week try it as a standalone post, and then the next week try it as an Insta story. You know, I'm a big believer, and we talked about this last week with content creation, is just because you say it one time does not mean that you don't have to say it again. And just because you shared it in one format doesn't mean that the content has to exist in that format forever. You can share it in a multitude of different ways, right? We have this concept that we teach inside of our Follower to Fan Academy program. We talk about creating a feedback loop in your Instagram account. So this is a great example of that too, Danielle, where you can create a post in your feed and then mention your stories where people can watch to learn more, and then do something in your stories and then mention in your stories the post that you just created in your feed. So then you're getting your followers to kind of loop between your content. So that's a really cool strategy as well. So a carousel post is a multiple photos or multiple posts in the feed. So if you've ever seen those posts in the feed where you swipe through, you can have up to 10 pieces of content, up to 10 either photos, videos, or graphics in the post. That's an example of a carousel post. Yeah. Okay, so we talked about the feed and we talked about stories. Let's dive into Instagram Live and IGTV. So these are 2 more really great places to create and share content with your followers. So live video, this is where you really want to think about creating content where the goal is engagement. As you can see right now, being live with me here on Facebook, live video is so important for getting engagement and building connection with your followers. Live video is a great way to teach. It's a great way to share stories. It's a great way to share insights with your followers. And as we all know, Instagram prioritizes live video because if you are live, you get put at the very front of the line for your followers. You're before all the stories that are currently active, and you're right there with live video. So we love live video around here. Also, I think about a month ago, Instagram announced live rooms, which is a really cool new feature where you can go live with up to 3 other people. So you can have 4 people live all at once on Instagram. And live rooms are really cool too, because then not just only your followers know that you're live, but every other person that's live at the same time, their followers also know that they are live. So live rooms are a really incredible way to grow your following and to get in front of more people on Instagram. So we love live video. Now the downside is that live video can take a little bit of preparation, and you also got to be confident and ready to show up and go live. So it's not for everyone, and it's also not for everyone right now. Some people may want to grow into live video, but I want you to think about using that for content where you really want engagement. Now, IGTV, on the other hand, is replays of live videos or pre-recorded video content. So Instagram announced a feature last year, which is really great. So once you wrap up an Instagram live, you can share that live to IGTV so someone can watch the replay. So we love that. We think, that's such a cool feature. Or you can record videos. Typically, the limit's going to be about 10 minutes on that, of up to 10 minutes in length, and you can upload that to IGTV as well. And then from there, you can share the IGTV video to your feed and to your stories. And I want you to think about using IGTV as a way to have videos live in a place where you want that content to stay, where you want people to be able to access that content later. Great with Instagram stories, you're good with your direct messages, then adding in live and IGTV would be a great next step for you. If you're not there yet, then I want you to hold off. I want you to get good at creating consistent feed content, and I want you to get good at showing up on stories on a regular basis, okay? Do we have a deal? Like, that is really the first priority for you. And once you've gotten good at that, adding in Instagram Live on a weekly basis or even a couple of times a week is a really great thing to do to build connection and have conversations with your audience. And then adding in IGTV for your lives to either live in a forever kind of evergreen place, or for you to create and share other content is a great way to deepen the relationship with the followers you already have. Now, I'm going to share in just a little bit toward the end of today's training why it's important that we get good at our feed and stories first before we start adding in these other features. IGTV is a really powerful tool for those of you who are really strong in your overall Instagram strategy and who want to deepen the relationship you have with the followers you already have. IGTV isn't really a tool that you necessarily use to grow your following because Instagram doesn't have a really strong system yet for getting new IGTV content out in front of new people. So it doesn't have that feature, that functionality yet. So there is sometimes a little bit of maybe a little bit of a struggle with getting your IGTV content in front of new eyes. So if you are really good at what you're doing on Instagram, if you're creating content, if you're connecting with your followers and you want to add in more video, then go all in on IGTV. But just know that IGTV's sole purpose as of right now is to connect with the followers you already have. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments if you pick that up, if that makes sense to you. Okay. The next feature of Instagram that we want to talk about is Instagram Reels. Now, this is the newest. This is Instagram's TikTok ripoff. As we all know, Instagram loves to borrow ideas from other platforms and other tools. Snapchat is the inspiration for stories, and then Reels is the inspiration for is inspired by TikTok, of course. So Reels are brand new. Reels are super fun. They're videos of up to 30 seconds in length. They were initially 15 seconds. Now they're 30 seconds. Maybe they're going to get longer. We'll see. Also, it seems like maybe I'm having a little bit of video issue, so if y'all can just let me know if that's happening for you. Sorry, y'all, if that's what's going on. I'll give it just a second. Y'all know the joy of live video, the joy of technology. All good. Okay, so it seems like it's solid for some folks. So if you're having issues, you may want to just refresh the screen wherever you are right now. Sorry. So Reels are a really fun thing to add into your strategy. What we're seeing right now with Reels is that Instagram is really prioritizing Reels and is getting Reels in front of more new people. And if you're creating Reels, it's really helping people grow their following right now. Now, we've seen that in our business. A few weeks ago, we had a Reel go mega viral. It now has over 3 million views. My following on Instagram grew by over 12,000 over the course of about 10 days from this Reel that went viral, which was really cool. It's been really exciting to see that and to keep tracking that growth. But as we talked about during last week's live video, all growth isn't always good growth on Instagram. The Reel that I had that went viral was about something that's not even related to what I do in my business. So I have all these new followers, which is so exciting. I love them. So glad that they're there and that they're following on Instagram. But they may not all be my, they may not all be my ideal follower or ideal customer. So what that means is that for the next few weeks, my team and I are kind of watching as our following does some weird things, right? We're going to lose some followers, maybe gain some more. We're going to maybe have a week where we lose a lot of people because they're like confused about what we do and why they follow this account. So not all growth is good growth, but Reels can totally help with follower growth. And they're up to 30 seconds long. I did see someone say in the comments that they're at 60 seconds long now. I haven't seen that feature yet, but that could be coming. I know TikTok is currently experimenting with videos of up to 2 minutes in length. So maybe Instagram will make Reels longer as well. But I want you to think about how you can use Reels for content that is short and sweet. What's a point that you can get across in 30 seconds or less? You can make it funny, it could be insightful, it could be teaching, it could be value, whatever it may be. And it's really about serving your ideal customer through this content. Something else to consider for Reels, and this is a really great point that is really helpful for Reels, is instead of feeling like you have to create new content for Reels, create the content you had already planned to create as a reel instead. So if you had, I was sharing this with someone recently. If you had something that you wanted to hop on Insta stories and say, maybe it was a lesson you wanted to teach, a concept you wanted to share, or something like that. Instead of getting on stories and doing it, just open up your phone and get on Reels and do it. Post it to Reels, share that reel to your Instagram feed, and then share that reel to your Instagram story. If you were going to post something in your feed, teaching an idea or sharing an idea, do it on Reels instead. So instead of creating new content or creating it in addition to the content you were already going to create, just create it on Reels instead. Okay, and then the last feature, function, platform of Instagram is direct messages. Direct messages are private messages with your followers or others, and this is where you can really connect and sell with your community. Direct messages are such an important part of an effective Instagram marketing strategy because they are the opportunity for you to have direct conversations with potential customers, for you to better understand your potential customers' issues, problems, concerns, hopes, dreams, whatever it may be. It's the opportunity for you to sell your product directly, to make those offers to your followers. It's so, so important. And we love direct messages around here, all right? I've seen a little bit of commentary around Reels. So yes, Michelle, Reels do not all have to be jazzy and wild. It doesn't have to be music with you pointing at things on the screen. You don't have to do that. I think people are kind of annoyed by that sometimes anyway. And Courtney says, I find Reels to be time consuming. I feel like I have to do a lot of editing. Courtney, I feel you on that too, because as you can tell, being with me live, I got a lot to say. I got a lot to talk about. Something you could consider for Reels is just making them really short and punchy, just focused on one concept, one idea for your Instagram Reels, all right? So direct messages are really important. We've talked about those before. We'll keep talking about them during this weekly live training, but you really want to think about how you can leverage direct messages to connect with the followers you already have. So let's talk about where to post to attract new followers and where to post to connect with the followers you already have. And how do we ensure that you're not getting caught up in this nonstop content creation and posting everywhere all the time? It's really thinking of the two places where you need to be showing up on Instagram consistently. Any guesses what those two places are? Let me know in the comments if you watch this whole video and you're like, okay, Tyler, I get it. These are the two places you really want us to focus on showing up on Instagram. Let me know if you've been listening and if I've done a good job of explaining it to you by sharing in the comments. And we'll send over a Starbucks gift card to the first person that guesses it correctly. Perfect. Brenna said feed and stories. I love it. Brenna, send us a direct message here on this Instagram account and we'll send you a $5 Starbucks gift card, all right? It's all about the feed and stories. And let me tell you why. Everything else on Instagram is great. It's a great place to post. It's a great place to create content. Go live if you want to. Do Reels if you want to. Create IGTVs if you want to. Direct messages are kind of like a given, like you should be using those. However, feed and stories are so important because your feed is where you connect with new followers. So when someone comes to your profile for the very first time, they are looking at your bio and your feed to really understand who you are and what you do. They're looking at that content to decide whether or not to follow you. And then every time your feed content shows up for someone in their Instagram feed and they keep following you, they are continuing. If they don't understand, your feed is all about, this is how people make follow decisions, right? This is where people are encountering you and your brand for the first time. Stories is how you deepen your connection with the followers you already have. Your Instagram stories, it's not about getting new followers through stories. That's what your feed content is doing. Using hashtags helps you do that, and we talk about that inside of Follower to Fan Academy. Doing growth and engagement strategies that we teach inside of Follower to Fan help you grow with your feed content. Stories are all about deepening the relationship with the followers you already have. Because with Instagram stories, people are seeing your face, they're hearing your voice, they're connecting with your personal interest with what we call shared experiences, which we've talked about before on these live trainings. And it's really allowing you to build a deeper relationship. Like we said earlier, stories are the gateway to direct messages. So, posting your feed regularly. Use your feed as a way to create foundational cornerstone content for your brand so that people really understand who you are and what you do. Then post on Instagram stories as often as you can as a way to deepen the relationship with the followers that you already have. Now, I've talked about this before during these weekly trainings, including last week's where we did a really big deep dive into content creation. So I want to invite you to check out the weekly videos that we've been doing. You can click on videos right here on Facebook and look for the weekly marketing series playlist, and you'll be able to find all the videos that we've done for the past couple of months. And I'll be back here live next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern with our next training. Next week, we're talking about a good one. Next week, I'm talking about why your Instagram engagement sucks, why you're not getting sales, and what the heck to do about it. So next week's conversation is going to be a really good one about why engagement may not be where you want it on Instagram and why you're not getting the sales you want from your Instagram account. So you definitely want to join me back here for that one. In the meantime, there's a couple of things I want you to grab. First is the Instagram roadmap. This is totally free. This goes into even more detail about the 6 features and functions of Instagram. Inside the roadmap, we've put together this complete guide of all the features of Instagram, and we go into detail about how to use each one and the pros and cons of each one. So if you're looking for even more clarity on how to use Reels or Stories or Live or the other features that we talked about today, go to tylerjmccall.com/roadmap to grab your free copy of that roadmap. The Online Business Show has new episodes out every single week, so you can go to onlinebusinessshow.co or just search for Online Business Show wherever you listen to podcasts. Today, we just released our final episode in the 6-part Marketing Success series, and I walk you through my complete Instagram Sales Strategy 101. So check that out at the Online Business Show. And lastly, I want to invite you to next week's Insta Income Workshop. I'm going to walk you through how to plan and execute your first or next profitable Instagram promo. I'm going to give you everything you need and work with you during this 3-hour workshop to get your promo put together and then give you the instant income blueprint that you can take with you to implement what you learn. The best part about this process that you're going to learn is it's been tried, tested, and proven to work by over 1,300 entrepreneurs. This is the same system we've used in our business now to generate over $1 million in revenue using this exact same system that I'm going to teach you during next week's workshop. And when you go to tylerjmccall.com/workshop right now to get your ticket, you're going to see so many stories from people that have had so much success in selling their coaching, their services, their courses, selling their handmade products, their art, whatever it may be, using this exact same system. So during next week's workshop, we're going to walk you through how to get ready for your first or next promo. We're going to help you either pick or create the perfect offer for the promo. We'll talk about how to price and position it. Then I'm going to share with you the content that you need to create and share for 3 days to position your offer, and then the content to create and share for 3 days to promote your offer. So that's it. The full instant income process you're going to learn next Wednesday just takes a week. So you're just a week away from your first or next profitable promo right here or right there on Instagram. I forgot we're not on Instagram right now. So head on over to tylerjmccall.com/workshop to grab your ticket. You'll get access to the live 3-hour training next Wednesday. You'll also get a replay of the session. You'll get a live Q&A with me as a part of the workshop, and we're going to give you our Instant Income Blueprint, which is our 40-plus page workbook that gives you everything you need to implement what you're going to learn during the workshop. We include posting prompts, scripts for your lives, scripts for your stories, all of the content, checklist, worksheets, everything you need to plan out your first or next profitable Instagram promo. So tylerjmccall.com/workshop is where you can get your ticket to that. Thanks for joining me this week for this week's live training. I'll see you back here next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Until then, have a great day.